Heil Honey.
Heil Honey.
Heil Honey.
Heil Honey.
Heil Honey.
Hello.
I'm home. Heil Honey.
Someone thought this was a good idea. Hello and welcome to another episode of This Got Made. Today we're going to be looking at a really strange show called Heil Honey, I'm Home. The show was a sitcom made in the 90s for the UK channel Galaxy for their Sunday night block, the Galaxy Comedy Weekend. The idea was to be a spoof of American sitcoms from the 50s and 60s, similar to shows like I Love Lucy. Then who else better to make fun of Lucy and Jackie Gleason than Hitler? There are conflicting reports on if there were 8 episodes or 11 episodes shot, but that doesn't really matter since only one ever made it to air. It was quickly cancelled after the first episode premiered, and minus the animated intro, no footage of the other episodes are known to exist. But we do have the original pilot that is easily viewable on YouTube. Well, let's jump into it and see if we can pinpoint exactly why this got cancelled. So the show starts with this fake backstory about the series, which really makes me wonder why they bothered to do this. It probably just confused people into thinking that this was really how the show was made. Jeff Atkinson was just covering his tracks before it even got off the ground. A chance discovery in a Burbank backlot has revealed the lost tapes of Heil Honey, I'm Home. Tapes that we believe vindicate Brandon's unsung comic vision. Oh, I sincerely doubt that.
Heil Honey.
Heil Honey.
Heil Honey.
Heil Honey.
Heil Honey.
Hello.
I'm home.
This theme song is just delightful. You can really tell that they went out of their way to make fun of that I Love Lucy aesthetic, even in this intro.
Heil Honey, I'm home!
Woo! He said the thing! We can all go home! It's all over, folks! Turn off the TVs and let's just call it a fucking night!
Heil Honey me.
What did I do now? Oh, tonight you were making schnitzel. What a jerk! You must be real mad at me, honey. I'm a very, very bad Hitler. Come here, baby.
I really hate to say that this is actually pretty enjoyable so far. Like, you can tell that a lot of effort went into this. The actors are really trying, the set and costumes look pretty good. If the same team focused on making fun of sitcoms and not Hitler, I feel like this could have gone somewhere. But then again, half the charm of this is the fact that they're just taking the piss out of Hitler. Making fun of Hitler is something that can be fun, and even the story manages to be smart sometimes.
Tomorrow, I got Neville Chamberlain coming over here.
That's the Prime Minister of Britain at the beginning of World War II. If this show was just a sitcom recreation of World War II, I think it could have a lot of potential. I wonder how they fucked this up.
What is it, honey?
It's the Goldensteins.
And there it is. So the show does its best to take off every sitcom cliche while also trying its best to connect it to Hitler. This episode is the dinner with your boss cliche. So it's about Hitler trying to get back on Britain's good side after invading Czechoslovakia. But he has to make sure his annoying neighbors don't barge in and ruin it. But where it gets uncomfortable is that the annoying neighbors are Jewish. See, the whole show was doing a good job up until this moment. The art of satire is knowing how to make fun of your material and having a point. It's what makes The Producers funny or The Great Dictator funny. But what makes this bad is the fact that the script isn't focusing on making fun of Hitler or telling World War II in a suburbia setting. It's the fact that it's just trying to make fun of the honeymooners. Like, look at this next joke.
So if we don't tell them about Chamberlain, how will they know?
Are you kidding? They always know. When I finally get to invade Poland, who'll be the first to know? The Poles? No! Rosa Goldenstein!
See, if this were good satire, the joke would be focusing on Hitler being an evil and disgusting human being. Instead, it tries to make fun of sitcoms, so the joke is they have really annoying neighbors, but instead it's entirely anti-Semitic. If you don't believe me, then look at the next scene where we get introduced to the Goldensteins.
Arnie Goldenstein, you are a slob. Whatever happened to the glamour? Where did the romance go?
How do I know where you put things? I can't even find my shirts. What's going on here? Fresh flowers? Fresh coffee? What did you buy, Rosa, huh?
I didn't buy anything.
Your mother's coming?
It all comes off as weird with the context of the show. There is a way to fix this. Like, if the whole apartment complex represented different parts of Europe, I think these kind of things would work. Like, imagine if this were Stalin or something. Then it would be satire. Then it would be funny. But no, they're a regular Jewish sitcom family doing regular Jewish sitcom family things.
I will not open
How do you
the
like
door.
that?
I want to get
The
out of
Hitlers
this
are having
family.
another
I'm gonna
fight.
put him under it.
Will you call the landlord?
I love the idea that Hitler has a landlord and has to pay rent like the rest of us. Like, don't get me wrong, he's still the Führer of Germany. But he still also has to deal with the awkwardness of calling your landlord when your garbage disposal breaks. I am also just confused as hell about the layout of this whole place. Are their apartments connected? If so, why did Arnie Goldenstein go through their front door? Why in a Hitler sitcom is this the thing I'm questioning? Also, this is Ruth. She's a setup for a sitcom trope.
Say, do you think just about the most important person in Europe would like my meatloaf?
Just about the most important person in Europe is coming here.
Well, that was almost as transparent a setup as, well, the last transparent setup.
Do you think just about the most important person in Europe likes chocolate chip cookies? Oh, gee, look at me. There I go again, flapping my gums.
Oh my god, this isn't funny. Like, I get it. She's this desperate housewife that lives off of gossip, but just please, try harder.
Listen, honey, I didn't tell you.
You didn't tell me, honey.
Swear to it.
Swear and promise. May retribution curse my lips, and may all my children not marry somebody in the professional classes.
Well, that was just uncomfortable.
Hey, Ava. Does Neville Chamberlain have a wife? 'Cause I might just have a girl for him.
Oh my god, they are bringing every sitcom trope they can into this. Come on, why stop here? Why not have Hitler's in-laws coming for the weekend? Why not have him forgetting his anniversary? Why not have him dealing with the fact that he has 2 dates to the prom? So it's the night of the dinner, and Arnie seems about as enthusiastic to be here as we are.
You want Ruth should find a nice man so she don't need to stay with us?
No, I want Ruth should drop dead so she won't need to stay.
When dealing with Hitler, careful what you wish for. I also just want to point out that everyone has the thickest New York accents, and I really didn't realize this was a British production until I started researching for this video. I honestly don't think any of the actors are doing a bad job. It is 100% the script. The script is telling these actors to say such stupid things and it ruins it. But it's almost never them. It's kind of amazing because they take the stupid but still manage to have a fun performance. But going back to what I said earlier, it's entirely anti-Semitic. Had the script been better, I don't think this would have been as controversial as it was. Anyway, Hitler wants them out before Neville Chamberlain gets to their apartment, so they plan to get them drunk enough to want to fall asleep at their own home. This feels like another sitcom trope, but I really can't tell you another show that does this, and I've already put way too much research into this show. But it turns out that Chamberlain got an earlier flight and is downstairs, and please notice the end of part 1 at the end of this. It's around here when I realized that the actual plot of the episode has yet to start. We are 15 minutes into this, and only just now have we set up the pieces for the actual plot of the episode. Let's look at the sitcom Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, mainly because the episode titles make it so easy to make my point. Each episode's title is exactly what the plot is, and the show sets up every piece of the puzzle in its cold open. Kimmy needs to do blank involving blank character, while Titus and Jacqueline do blank. The show sets everything up for the plot within the first 2 minutes, while this show took 15 minutes to do the exact same thing. Instead of using its jokes to actually further the plot, we get...
Gee, I win. Wonderful party. Good night.
No, it's not a monkey.
It's Ruth. You're so
It's not Ruth. It's your mother.
Fucking riveting! This is becoming so hard because the further we go, the less I have to talk about. Like, look at this.
Heil Honey, I'm home.
I ain't out.
How does a sitcom about Hitler give me so little to talk about?
I'm a little teapot short. My handle, there's my spout. When I get my steam up, hear me shout. Tip me up and pour me out.
So finally, after hearing that Chamberlain is single, Rosa goes to get Ruth while Chamberlain talks to Hitler.
It's just that I feel, well, we all feel, that you have been rather a naughty boy. All this Czechoslovakia nonsense, eh?
See, this is what the show was missing in order to be funny. It could have been a Honeymooners episode about the time Neville Chamberlain went to Germany in order to get Hitler to sign the Peace in Our Time agreement. It took 20 minutes for them to deliver on the premise of the show. show, and seriously, the writing even gets kind of funny.
Boy, you invade one little country. Everyone is on your back. Well, I ain't gonna be signing this thing.
I also forgot to mention that Hitler has these asides to the camera as if it's Saved by the Bell or something. God knows Zach Morris was a character almost as bad as Hitler. And after 20 minutes, we get the scene that should have been 15 minutes ago. Ruth meeting Chamberlain. And it is so uncomfortable.
You want a lock of my hair for your wallet?
Oh, well,
Thank God Arnie cuts it short by finding the document.
tell him. You know me. Tell him about me.
Well, you do have all those tanks and battleships you keep trying to hide.
Is this true?
Yeah, there's all that talk of invading everywhere.
You know, that line right there is an example of how this whole show just does not work. It's weird hearing about these war atrocities that Hitler commits, while also just juxtaposing it with this cute sitcom setting. It's disgusting. This man is responsible for the Holocaust. See, it's uncomfortable. So he signs the Peace in Our Time agreement. By the way, it's actually called the Peace for Our Time agreement, so that's just another way the show just doesn't care. And the show ends the same way any of these sitcoms end.
So, how about that, babe, huh? You're living with one slick Fuhrer here.
Oh, Mr. Sausage.
Oh, coochie girl.
And that was Heil Honey, I'm Home, and Jesus Christ. A sitcom about Hitler honestly has potential, but they did everything wrong. They were more focused on being a 50s sitcom than delivering on their own premise. They made the Goldensteins terrible people rather than making them the ones you want to root for. They tried to make Hitler a likable person. This could have been something entertaining, but instead it's one of the most uncomfortable pilots I have ever seen. There is a tone-deaf way of tackling Hitler jokes, and then there's the right way to tackle Hitler jokes. And if you want a film that accomplishes what I assume this show is trying to do, then let me introduce you to Look Who's Back. Look Who's Back is a film based on a German novel about Hitler waking up in the modern day, interpreting our modern day society with a Nazi perspective. The film does an amazing job deconstructing Hitler as a symbol, while also using him as a warning about how close we are as a society to letting nationalism and fascism back in our society because we think people like this are funny. Kinda hits close to home, doesn't it? And so instead of being something that could have actually had a great message, what we got was a tone-deaf, stupid sitcom that fails at being a satire and being funny. And I want to thank you guys for watching this episode of This Got Made. If you want to see the very first episode, then click here to watch the Lost Bubsy pilot. And if you want to see more reviews, then click this playlist over here. And be sure to subscribe so that you know when I go live and post other videos. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.